Well, welcome in. It is not a typical post-flight, right? I mean, normally when we do this whole thing, what do we get? A huge victory Monday. We get to talk about all the exciting things that happened, and we get to sweep under the rug all the shady stuff, the things that could have happened, that didn't happen, that didn't even impact the game. And now we have a rare loss, only the second one to talk about really all year. So first and foremost, everything's okay. The injuries are the big thing. The concern now is health moving forward more so than anything else. All right. So health is something we don't know yet about, except for the quarterback. Really, we don't know yet right now. We just don't. We don't have a feel. We don't have a grasp. We don't really know as far as long-term Lane Johnson and others. That's the biggest thing, the negative, really the only big negative you take following that loss. But, Gardner Minshew's right when he's talking about just how close this Eagles team was, because I don't put it on the quarterback, and I don't think you should either.
All the guys fought their tails off. That's the ones that hurt, when you fight like that and come up short. But I know there's, not a group I'd rather step out there with, and really grateful for the effort they gave and the fight that they had.
Mistakes. Quez Watkins 2 times over. Miles Sanders, Boston Scott can't hold on to the football on a very easy exchange. You've exchanged cryptocurrency easier than Gardner Minshew handing the football over to Boston Scott. So it's frustrating because that's a winnable game with a backup, dare I say, backup quarterback and a guy in Gardner Minshew who was fine. The offense did not change. It was just a problem with execution. And if you want to look at the key difference between Jalen Hurts and mostly everybody else in the NFL outside of Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, it's you can make mistakes. You don't have to be crisp, and you can still win football games. The reason why Dak Prescott, Gardner Minshew, the reason why all these guys struggle to win games after making mistakes is that they're not good like Hurts. They're not great like Mahomes. They don't show that level of MVP talent like Jalen Hurts does. And it's hard. Like I said, Dak's never going to win an MVP. No way is he ever going to win an MVP. But you look at a team that's built around him and you say, all right, just don't screw that up. And that's who Dak Prescott is. He's one of the best don't screw it up guys. He's not one of the even okay top tier guys. So the Eagles lose a winnable game, and their offense just puts their defense in a really difficult spot. Short fields, turnovers, you're just never going to win like that. And I'm happy to hear Nick Sirianni frustrated like this after a game.
We made plenty of them. Playing, coaching, we made plenty of mistakes that we'll learn from. And that's what I love about this team. We'll learn from our mistakes, and we just crave to get better.
I'm telling you, that is what you want to hear following a meaningless, and it was still meaningless loss. Oh, yeah, Dallas is still, let's see what happens if it's not going to happen. The Philadelphia Eagles lose out to the Saints and the Giants, which ain't going to happen. But this is tough, man. This is really tough to see. It's not like gut-wrenching season's over tough, but it's frustrating to watch. Watching that game on Saturday night with a bunch of other Eagles fans, and you had this feel like, hey, man, this is going to be a game. Like, we're going to win this game. Eagles going to go out and do this thing. And slowly you just see mistakes, and you're thinking, damn, it's not even like the Cowboys are shutting down this offense. It's not even like the Cowboys offense is just unstoppable, moving the ball 90-plus yards a drive. It's, oh, shit, are you serious? Again? Another one again? And that's what you got. And I think when you start to look at the NFC, there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a major issue with moving forward and turning the ball over and making mental mistakes and just not playing. You're not going to beat playoff teams. But we haven't seen that hurt the Eagles outside of Sunday. And that has a caveat with it in that it wasn't Jalen Hurts. The Washington game, they lost. There is a strategy out there. I don't think many teams are going to follow it. The Cowboys certainly didn't follow it. Cowboys just got lucky. I mean, truly, look, they forced turnovers. Okay, that's fine. But the Cowboys finishing plus in a wild turnover game was the difference as opposed to a defensive strategy or an offensive strategy. Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, knows what he's doing. Nobody else on that team does. This guy certainly has no idea what he's doing.
This was a game we wanted to get, and felt like we had to have, more for ourselves. And now we're at 11 wins. So I think our place is clear. But, we just got to make sure, really this is our toughest stretch of the season from a planning standpoint, going into a short Thursday game. With Christmas.
So tough.
Tomorrow.
So tough.
That's really professionally where my focus is.
Yeah.
And, I think the players have done a really good job. And,
yeah. It's a hard life you live, Mike McCarthy. Sure, we didn't have a full time to prepare. You're going up against a backup quarterback, cuz. Okay, that you knew was going to be playing. And while nothing changed around it, your best football player came out and said the Eagles' offense is a system. Spare me that. I mean, Mike McCarthy with revisionist history right there to try and bump up his team even more so after knocking off a backup quarterback. This same Dallas team, mind you, was downplaying that first loss because Cooper Rush was there. Let me tell you, Gardner Minshew, Cooper Rush, Dak Prescott, I don't see any difference. I don't see any difference. Any of these guys could step in a full season on that Dallas team and do exactly what Dak did and do exactly what Cooper Rush did. You don't think that Gardner Minshew could come in here and win 9 games with that Cowboys team? Get out of here. They win 9, 10 games with either team. Same thing for Cooper Rush. It's a joke. And you know that. And Mike McCarthy knows that. And yet here we are talking about, falling in Dallas and how this was the injuries are the only big and only concern. I do trust Nick Sirianni and this team, especially with Jalen Hurts on there, fixing things, improving things. But it sucks to hear this Dallas team, especially a guy like Mike McCarthy, just go on and pine. I mean, shut up.
If you're down on the field, you felt the pressure. I mean, it was hot on both sides. I thought they did a nice job with their.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Mike.
So,
thank you.
The ball was coming out with Minshew, and you can see what they're doing. They hit the RPO double move early, and they came out and made the 2 big plays right out to start the game. But I think we were -4. I didn't see the stats before I came in here, but I know we were -4 in the big plays at halftime. And the messages were, I think there was 19 big plays in it.
Not turnovers, big plays. You see how he's doing this?
Don't chase them,
right?
Make them, and we definitely made them down a stretch.
I mean, it's like going into a fight where you are outmatching your opponent, you knock your opponent out, and then you're trying to come up with reasons about how it was a bigger fight. All the tough to the opponent. You got lucky. And if that's your strategy in moving forward and winning playoff games, good luck, because it's not going to, you can't hide under the covers and hope a team screws it up for you. It's just not going to work. Now, I saved the best cut for last before we get into the 3 keys and then look ahead to New Orleans, but you're going to love this. You are, I think, truly going to love Dak Prescott, who has been emboldened with confidence and power now into this final matchup that we anticipate in the postseason between the Eagles and the Cowboys. Neither one in the regular season, mind you, featured both starting quarterbacks, although I'd argue that there's only really one true starting, top-tier quarterback on either team, and that guy was hurt on Saturday. But, hey, this Cowboys team, it feels like they won week 3 of the preseason, and they're talking about how tough of a victory this was and how hard of a fight it was. Dare I say, shut up.
Very confident. Yeah, I mean, obviously being the 3rd time splitting 1-1, very confident. There's something that we've talked about throughout the week that we've got to come out here, obviously, and put our best foot forward, represent who we are, but at the same time understand that this might be the first of 2 times here late in the year that we're going to have to play these guys. And it's just about, I think that was a good win. I think that was a good win just for the team, complimentary win. I know obviously they're going to think about that next time that we play them, and that's what you want. But we've just got to, 1 week at a time now, focus on Tennessee as we move forward and get into tomorrow.
Look, man, the Philadelphia Eagles have not forgotten what they did to get here. The Philadelphia Eagles, when they beat Cooper Rush, and even in this game that they lost with Gardner Minshew, were the better team for the majority of the football game. And that doesn't mean anything retro, right? I'm not trying to excuse away a loss, justify. That's not anything retro. That's just the next time around. Who do you think is more prepared for the third time? Mike McCarthy, who doesn't know what the hell's going on, or Nick Sirianni, who nearly beat McCarthy with the backup? And it was only for multiple turnovers, stuff that you just don't see happen a lot. Yeah, the Miles Sanders fumble, okay. The Quez Watkins picks, stop going back to that guy. And then the other thing was the whole exchange with Boston Scott. This shit isn't happening week in, week out to where you're escaping games because you're so sloppy. It happens over a course of a 17-week season, but this is not happening to this high of a clip to where you can take that big. Oh, man, we got this Eagles team next time around. We got this Eagles team. I can't get there. 3 big takeaways. First one is the injuries. Injuries are a problem. Injuries are an issue. So we have to look at next week specifically with Jalen Hurts. And let's start there. But that's like looking ahead. So that's not a key. The key is just who's hurt. The key is regrouping on Tuesday, not Monday, Tuesday. That's when you'll really know about this coming week. So don't place any wager on the Eagles yet. Any of that. Just wait until Tuesday. But outside of Jalen Hurts, bodies going down, war of attrition, that's a problem this late in the season. And that's going to really dictate what happens against the Saints and mostly against the Giants, where you're talking about who's sitting, who's not, and playing as a result of that. So do not be shocked if you see another scenario like you saw last year at the end of the year with Dallas, except this time it's against the Giants. The Philadelphia Eagles, the biggest takeaway was that. Takeaways. The Philadelphia Eagles were embarrassed in the turnover margin. And it wasn't even like they got slammed on it. It was just the manner of turnover. Josh Sweat, pick 6, fantastic. I didn't even want to play that, to be honest with you. It was a loss. I can't really crush Dak because they got the win, but I was close to it. I could. Now, second takeaway is Gardner Minshew's fine. The Philadelphia Eagles deserve credit for once again addressing a key position in sports, which is really difficult to address, and that's the backup quarterback. Not many teams have a Gardner Minshew. They really don't. And you know what? Shit happens. It's the NFL. Crazy stuff goes on, and next thing you know, your quarterback is out. Carson Wentz, we saw this, and I don't mean it for an extensive period of time. I just mean like, hey, man, Jalen Hurts is out for a series. Jalen Hurts is out for a quarter. Jalen Hurts is a knee injury. He's questionable to return. They work something out. They bring him back. Well, in that questionable to return time, who's out there? Gardner Minshew or some dude who doesn't know where his helmet is? And you know what? You laugh at that. You scoff at that notion, but second quarter in a playoff game, all of a sudden you've got Gardner Minshew coming in for a series, coming in for a breath even. You're okay. And that's huge, man. That's huge. And you know what? If that's a small little takeaway from what I would deem meaningless loss to Dallas in the grand scheme of things, that's good. That's a good take. That's a solid thing right there. The other part of it is I don't know what to make of the Philadelphia Eagles on fourth down. I really don't. Because the NFL changes, like trends change because somebody bucks them and then they successfully buck it and then they continue to buck it. And then it's no longer a buck trend. It's just they started a new trend. College teams, and look, we see successful college teams do this a lot too. A lot of college teams won't kick past 35, 40 yards. It's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. If you're moving the ball on offense, so be it. But the other part of it for me is what's wrong with Jake Elliott? Are you neglecting the kicking game, or are you simply going for it with one of the best fourth down offenses in the NFL? I don't know what to make of it. I'm not ripping. I'm not upset. I'm not negative. I don't know. I really don't know. You always know the comments are open. Thumbs up, subscribe here to the Philly Voice YouTube channel. You let me know if you like it, dislike it, and why. You have the opportunity here to go through this. But, man, I don't know if it's going to hurt them. And to be fair, I don't think Nick Sirianni goes for it 4th and 7, tie game in the third quarter, and they're on their own 22. Like, they will punt. But there is that point on the field where a 50 to 53-yard field goal is just not in the books right now. And again, if you're getting these 4th downs, okay, that's fine. What happens next week? Jalen Hurts back, not back, the whole thing going on here. I'll tell you what my dream scenario is, and I'll leave you with this. And again, maybe I'll leave you with Dak Prescott just to fire you up on a Monday, just to ruin your Monday. It was a post-Christmas Monday. You had presents, family, all that. You deserve some balance in your life. But my dream scenario here would be Jalen Hurts sits against the Saints. They somehow lose against the Saints and need a victory now to clinch home field against the Giants, where Jalen Hurts plays. Momentum is back, a sense of community, or not community, a sense of continuity is the word there, is back now heading into the playoffs because you got everybody back playing in that final game, which now means a little bit against the Giants. You beat the Giants, which is a bonus, but you're not sitting Jalen Hurts for 5 weeks. That's a problem. I don't want that. And you know what? The Eagles very well may get another shot at Dak Prescott. So we'll leave you with this parting shot.
Very confident. Yeah, I mean, obviously being the third time splitting 1-1, very confident. There's something that we've talked about throughout the week that we've got to come out here, obviously, and put our best foot forward, represent who we are, but at the same time understand that this might be the first of 2 times here late in the year that we're going to have to play these guys. And it's just about, I think that was a good win. I think that was a good win just for the team, complimentary win. I know obviously they're going to think about that next time that we play them, and that's what you want. But we've just got to, 1 week at a time now, focus on Tennessee as we move forward and get into tomorrow.